Guys, I have a question
I'll
for
tell
you.
you something from Marvel
Yes.
I actually enjoyed recently.
Guys,
That was
hold
the
on.
final episode of Loki. The
No.
series
Yeah.
itself was all over the place. They made so many mistakes, but the final episode at the end, they remembered Loki's an Asgardian god, and they treated him as such. And the way they stuck the landing on this, I'm like, had they done the rest of the series as good as this last episode, this series would have been the best thing Marvel has done potentially ever.
Hold up, you're telling me he wasn't crying and talking
Getting beat
over
up
with emotions
by a
while
large
eating pie?
non-powered black woman?
Nope.
Like season.
However, there were tears he was shedding, but they were bittersweet. I'm pretty sure nobody really cares, so you don't mind if I spoil the ending of it.
Guys,
Loki.
Go for it.
Yeah,
We don't
go
care
for it,
about
go
Marvels.
for it.
Spoil all Disney stuff.
Okay, just real quick Cliff's
Disney
Notes
is spoiled.
version. Pretty much it came down to there's a temporal loom that was kind of keeping all the timelines woven into some kind of order. And now that they were no longer going around pruning any branching timeline that could result in a Kang variant, there was too many timelines and the loom couldn't handle it. So Loki was trying to find a way to fix the loom because he's been working with these people for like the past season, and then he learns to time slip, which means he can go back to where he was previously, time travel. And so he ended up spending a couple of centuries going back and re-looping so he could learn enough about quantum physics, temporal theory, merging it with his magic, and get such an understanding that he could devise a way to fix the temporal loom. So if it breaks, then Kang variants pop up all over the place, multiversal war, and they all destroy each other. He thinks he fixed it. He gets the temporal loom adjusted, and it works for a moment. And then they realize the timelines are branching to infinity. You can't scale to infinity. And so the only way
to be fair, AC, that's always how he was in the mythology as well.
Yeah, that's pretty faithful.
But anyway, there's He Who Remains, who initiated all this originally to stop the multiversal war. And so Loki's time slipped back to a point where he was still alive and said, listen, what do I have to do to fix this? And he says, you could stop Sylvie from killing me, or you could take my place and just continue pruning the branches yourself. But the temporal loom, no matter what you do, will always fail because it's designed to prune everything if there gets to be too much, except the one timeline that I want there. And so Loki realized if he keeps pruning branches, then free will doesn't exist. If he destroys the loom, multiversal war breaks out, everything gets destroyed, nobody exists at all. But he just could not bring himself to kill Sylvie to stop her from killing He Who Remains. So he finally said, screw it. He took all that knowledge, merged it with his magic, and went out there, and instead of trying to fix the loom again, he went out there and destroyed it. All the timelines were like just kind of went all over the place like big ropes hanging in space. And he's like outside time here now. And they all kind of start losing the light, representing that multiversal war where they're all killing each other. And he grabs one of these ropes and it starts to light up green where he's touching it. He lets go and it starts to fade again. So he grabs it and he grabs more and more and then transforms into his classic Loki outfit and starts slinging all the timelines over his shoulder and goes to the center of time, wearing all these timelines like a cape, sits down, energizes them all. They just branch out in both directions, just keep going, and then back where they were looking, they now look like they're ordered kind of like they were through the temporal loom, but they no longer go in a flat circle. They now just go outward. And then the camera backed up, turned sideways, and the new order of the multiverse was Yggdrasil, the world tree.
See?
But the thing is, now
Marvel,
Loki's stuck there.
Yeah.
Gosh,
he decided if they were all going to die anyway, then he would just go and sacrifice himself and be there in the center of time to maintain this, while the TVA took on a new role and just intercepted Kangs as they came up. So they no longer prune branches, they tend the branches so that free will can exist, and they try and keep the multiversal war from happening while Loki maintains everything, and hopefully someday they could find a way where they can get him out of there. But until then, he's pretty much there for eternity, and he can see and hear all the friends he's made through these loops in time. They're going on living their lives, and it ends with Mobius like retiring, and he says, I'm just going to stand here for a minute and let time pass, something he's never been able to do before, just appreciating that time exists. And that kind of echoes off, and it fades to Loki sitting there by himself. He can see and hear all versions of his friends in the lives they're living, but he can never join them. And he has tears of loneliness going down his face, yet a slight smile of this slight cathartic smile, because he knows they can live. That's where it ended. There was no end tag scene, no after credit scene. It was just a conclusion.
Sounds like one of my type of endings.
It sounds like a very artistic way to tie up the whole multiversal mess into.
They put a
nice
beautiful cherry on a
tie.
shit sundae.
Yeah.
Hold up, Otter. They're not done with Kang yet.
Oh no.
There's a sequel movie. We was Kangs.
Well.
If I could raise up my little paws, I would show you just how
They're
many
done with the
fucks I
actor,
get.
but they're not done with the character.
But seriously,
Are we going to do a red swap on Kang now? Are we going to get a white Kang now? Is that what we're getting?
Yes.
It's going to like
I
Pierce
hope so.
Brosnan or something.
That would be hilarious.
Had they treated Loki like that through the whole series, that the show would have been a very different story. I mean, as far as success.
Yeah, he wouldn't have gotten his ass kicked at a carnival. Like a
Well, they
fucking
would have done this
renaissance.
Oh,
like
that
9
stuff
years ago.
bugs me.
Oh, bro.
But at least whoever wrote the last episode, at least they had half a clue, and they honored the mythology in this weird situation. It was kind of weird.
It also shows that their crappy writing was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have more than enough ability to write something good.
It-
Yeah, you
it's
gotta-
more
they
of
gotta
a
do
way
their
to
little
just swipe all that
3x5
dust
card.
under the rug and just pretend like it was good writing.
Yeah, I think I heard someone say you wanna get the best of Loki. Watch the first 2 and last 2 episodes of season 1, and then just watch the season finale. No, you would
It's
get
so
lost.
weird them making Yoki into a hero. It's just weird.
So what are they going to do? They're going to recast Kang. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And then they're going to explain why he looks different because he says, "Oh, in one timeline, I was a wife beater, and that's wrong."
It really is sad, though. It's just, I think, was it Resident One or Tim Allen who said it earlier in the chat? It's just cultural vandalism, straight up, for the most part. And
It pretty much is.
yeah, you take away the cultural stories that those cohesive things that people rally around, you end up just fracturing the community.
Yeah, but they're starting
Yeah,
to run
I
out of
did.
shit now.
Yeah, they
That's
really
why-
are starting to blow up in their faces.
Wrangler, that's why it's important that you and people like us take those symbols and fix them, you know? I'm all about
No, at this point, you just have to come up with new character. You have to come up with new
No, no,
storylines
no.
altogether. Don't even try to fix stuff because at this
Oh, no,
point,
no.
no more.
Actually, I
Oh, no.
would not discourage people from trying to fix stuff, because trying to fix stuff for my own headcanon when Marvel was going more and more off the rails was part of what got me back into putting stories together. So it's a good jumping point. It's a lot easier to fix something that exists than to come up with something new. But after you try your hand at mentally fixing stories that already exist, you go, hey, I would do it this way. And then you got an idea for your own thing. And that's where it starts
but
for a
the
lot of people.
problem is when you try to really start to fix some stuff that's been so broken to the point where it's not functionable anymore, you already lost a big base of your audience. All of them are gone. All of them are gone. And it's like
not that it's
you're gonna have a harder time convincing them to come back to something that in their mind is really broken.
Well, it's like DC and
Yeah.
Marvel. They had different phases of this, but like DC went through a big phase of like having world-ending and like a reset button event that they would do every couple of years. And
that's pretty much how they're trying to like quote unquote fix a lot of bad writing just piling up on each other.
What? Hold up. They can bring back fans, but the thing is, they'd have to fucking come up and say, "All right, all this shit we've been doing is dog shit. It's been like the worst stuff. We're sorry."
No, they're not going to do that. They won't do that. You know, they're not going to apologize.
I know they ain't going to do it, but I'm saying that is a way you could bring back fans.
Well, Daily Wire, I heard, if depending on the success of Snow White, they're going to go back and do like all Grimm's fairy tales and basically all the Disney movies and make it the Bent Key version of it. Right?
Oh, that could be cool.
Brett Cooper.